let me say that after sitting through this, it's to put this in perspective for the American people. Those of us who are involved in intelligence matters at the dais here, for that matter at the table, I doubt there was anyone who was shocked or even mildly surprised when these facts came out. This hacking business is ubiquitous, and it has been since the internet was set up. The question was asked, when did Russia start this? I would expect it was the day that they hooked up to the internet. This goes on constantly, and as we've been sitting here, there have been thousands of efforts against U.S. entities, U.S. computers, government, non-government, and that's just in the U.S. This is going on all over the world. Those of us who engage in this and have watched these things, and most of which have never become public, on a scale to 1 to 10, we've seen a number of 10s. This one doesn't come close to a 10. But the interesting thing is, because it's in the political spectrum, it has caught the fancy of the media, it's caught the fancy of the American people. Russia is not, in my judgment, the most aggressive actor in this business. I think there are other actors that are much more aggressive, and indeed, I think, much more dangerous. It isn't limited to state actors. There's state actors, there's non-state actors, and there's combinations. They go after everything. The criminal element is particularly troubling to a lot of people. I just heard Director Clapper. I think it's the first time I've ever heard an admission by an intelligence person that the U.S. does espionage. By that, I think he's inferring, in the context we're in, that the U.S. does this. Now, I'm not confirming that. I'll leave that to Mr. Clapper to do. But nonetheless, the other interesting thing I found is, I think I agree with Director Clapper entirely, that you want to be careful here when you're talking about how you're going to respond to this. And if it's responded to with a similar type of hacking, that escalates very, very quickly. And we've sat through, actually gamed out what would happen in a situation where we had an actual hacking and then decided how we were going to respond to it, and if we did, how the other side would respond to it. The good that has come out of all of this is that finally, I think the American people are getting a picture of how big this is, how ubiquitous it is, how dangerous it is, and that something has to be done about it. Director Clapper, I think, is correct that our response has been to up our game as far as our defensive posture is concerned. And really, that is where the focus needs to be. And again, one would hope we could find the silver bullet where you could stand up a defense and say, look, it's there, this can never be penetrated, anything that happens behind this wall is just fine. I don't know if I'll live to see that day. I don't know if anybody will. But in any event, it is good that we have this on the table. It's good that we're having a discussion about it. And I'm hoping that everyone will be patient with us and will be supportive as we do our best to up our game to defend on these things, particularly in the realm of most of the challenges that the government generally and the public generally doesn't hear about, but the intelligence community does. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Risch.